Now, what if Thor were an only child?
Bang, 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 bang.
Marty,
Say,
you
Marty, I want to hear. Yeah,
I want to hear your beautiful voice.
Oh my God. Brian,
he's
you
muted.
you were
He's not
there
me.
when I first watched it. Do you remember by chance my initial reaction?
You were hyped. It was your favorite. It
It
was
was one of my
hilarious.
favorites, and it broke my heart to realize that it was the lowest rated on IMDb. Broke my heart because I'm watching this. I'm
I
just
might break your heart, Marty, but keep going.
like, it's just Thor as just an absolute frat boy, and like his mom. It's a bit like they tell on his mom, like this is incredible.
It's right up Marty's alley.
Yeah,
I,
yeah. This
I
is every
love,
one of Marty's. Like,
there's
oh,
Natalie
shit.
Portman. There's
I
Ultravision.
was
Like,
surprised that they got basically everyone to voice act.
Again, I don't know how. I
and
mean,
you
whatever.
had Hondu show up. Howard the Duck married what's her name,
Darcy
Yeah,
Darcy.
from WandaVision. Yeah, is she
He,
in
and
Thor?
Thor
he
1 and
can't.
2.
Is she really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
she's
barely
Natalie
remember.
Portman's assistant who didn't make her
Yeah,
reprise her role until it had to have been. I think she made a little appearance in one of the Avengers, actually,
yeah, you might be right.
like the first Avengers potentially. But um,
Yeah, everyone was in the first Avengers. So
I have to say, Brian, not to, and I'll let Marty get back to his thoughts right after, but uh, watching this immediately after the visions
hmm,
just exacerbated for me the issue of how the quality of animation on all of these what ifs is just like okay.
I agree.
It's really not that great. Like the more, and especially with this episode, I feel like I noticed it more. And again, I think it's because of like the consecutive viewings. Yeah, the quality of animation on this show is just like average at best, really.
For
And
sure.
I don't, yeah. I think the quality of the show is better than that, like overall, but the animation is just blah. Like I don't know, it's not exciting. Like the characters like mouth moving and stuff is weird. They're like oversimplified. I don't know. There is something about it that's just
There's
like
nothing to their face.
it's like soulless a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't like yeah I can't quite put my finger on it, but yeah. So I'm sorry, Marty. Go ahead.
oh no, that was pretty much all I had. That was
Cool.
the extent.
Aaron, before I break Marty's heart, what was your
Oh,
first thoughts of this episode?
Sure. So this episode is all over the place. Like I agree with Marty that there are parts of it to me that are funny, but also tonally, like what I don't know what their like intent was. Because again, it was like the party bit, and then it's 30% he's just fighting Captain Marvel. Like you know what I mean? So and then yeah, they're trying to get him like off the planet, and he's just so into partying, but he's not like a bad guy. Wasn't sure why they're like, oh, he's such a threat, and maybe because he's bringing all these intergalactic beings to Earth, which just is like bad. Even though, again, I don't think they ever like did anything bad. Like there was never one moment where like Thor's partying so hard he like throws his hammer through like the Grand Canyon and blows it up or something. I
but
don't know.
he
Like there was
did it in the past. That's what they're saying. I think he did it to another
Yeah,
planet.
there was a star
oh yeah, you're right, you're right.
that was
I don't know.
the big concern is there was a party
Yeah.
so big it destroyed another planet.
Yeah, I mean Dormammu did like melt the Statue of Liberty.
I don't think that's Dormammu,
He's,
but yeah, that guy.
oh no, you're right. It's fucking Dormammu. No, it's
They even got the
God damn it,
voice
what's
actor
his
for that
name?
guy, by the way. Nope, that's Rock guy.
It is the
Surtur.
Ragnarok guy.
Surtur is his
Surtur.
name.
Yes. Thank you.
Surtur.
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 So yeah, this episode was like middling for me. Like it's close to the middle. I would say the lower end.
What do you put
Uh,
below it?
I still think the Captain Carter one was just not like exciting.
That's
I
my
think
bottom right
that
now.
that's the one that kills me the most. I thought the What If like zombies one was fine. I think that one was better than this one.
Mm-hmm. So
Even
it's
the one, yeah, the one that we watched last week too, like bothered me a little bit. And in reading stuff about it, taking Marty's lead on like the IMDb stuff because that one's rated really low too, the Killmonger one.
mm-hmm.
But in reading some people's like thoughts on it, it made a lot of sense to me that one of the things that annoyed me about it was how kind of dumb the characters were a little bit. Like there was definitely some weird bits of like the military not, I feel like, investigating enough. You know, it's just like weird kind of, again, like looking past these plot holes. And this episode at least didn't have that as much for me, but that's because it was so kind of all over the place and like kind of Marvel humor, but like some of it was definitely the bad Marvel humor.
Yeah.
Some
Phase
of it was
one
good.
humor.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not as hyped on it as Marty was, but I didn't like hate it. It was
Yeah.
fine.
It sounds like we're ranking similarly, where it's just above the Captain Carter episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say just above it. It is far and away better than the Captain Carter episode.
Far and away better than.
I still think it's
just, rough.
Second from the bottom for me. There were funny parts. I don't think it was for me. I don't know if it's I don't know what it was. Maybe you overhyped it for me.
Him.
Maybe you overhyped it for me.
You come over here, you microdose, you watch that episode again and tell me
I'm sure.
the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life.
So I'm going to go through the plot. So we're at Thor 1. Thor crashes in Vegas instead of the desert because he loves to party. Jane still...
Right there.
Jane still
Thor
falls in love with
Vegas
Thor
because he loves to party.
Is there anything before that you wanted me to bring up?
Oh, I just like that sentence.
Frigga's going to drink with her sister or something.
Like, come on, like look at what we're looking at here. How is this not the greatest episode?
I love that you love it, Marty. I have nothing wrong with you loving it. It just wasn't my cup of tea. There was one line that got me pretty good. We'll get there. It's a little later. So Jane's still goo goo gaga over Thor. That's what the kids are calling it these days.
I get it.
Darcy goes on a date with Howard the Duck and gets Vegas married. There's a lot
that might have been the strangest part of the episode to me, of like the quick cut to them being married. I'm like, what's happening?
Once you go Duck.
Yeah, I'm like,
Eric, what's happening is great. Continue, Ryan.
So the whole thing with this is, instead of Loki being taken in by Odin, Loki's given back to his dad. And I guess this sparked like peace throughout the universe because there are so many people on this planet partying that are at each other's throats in the normal MCU.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Ice Giants are getting along with Asgardians. We've got all the Galaxy of the Guardians characters basically not wanting to kill each other from all the different clans and stuff. Yeah, so everything starts with Loki and Thor, apparently.
Yeah. I like their little relationship. Like they had a nice little back and forth of like kind of giving each other shit and whatever.
They were
like
almost closer in this than the real MCU. What I was gonna say is they had like a legitimate kind of respectful brotherly relationship because they sibling rivalry
grow up together. It was that was an interesting little bit, and I appreciated that when Loki does show up that he's in like traditional Norse mythology frost giant form. Yeah, that's pretty, because I feel like people forget that no, he's a frost giant. He's not a like actual Norse god by blood. Yeah, but still cool.
So Jane stays with Thor. They wake up hungover in a Vegas hotel. Shield interrogates them. The party atmosphere is spreading across the Earth, so they're worried it's going to blow up like the other planet.
Pandemic.
So who's Shield going to call for this massive threat that is this raging party? Captain Marvel, who has no chill. In fact,
Captain Marvel has
the
had
ultimate
nothing
party
to do
pooper.
because
oh,
there's been
you
no-
ruined it. I was going to say, in fact, there's a word for Earth women like her, and it's
sorry,
party
man.
pooper.
Just edit it out.
Oh, I will. I do appreciate we get a Captain Marvel Thor fight, and I think it's implied Captain Marvel wins this if she wanted to.
I mean, again, canonically, Thor and Captain Marvel are far and away, like in the current Avenger like roster. I mean, those two are like head and shoulders above everybody
I
else
throw
that's in the
Scarlet Witch
MCU
up there,
right
and
now.
then that's it.
Oh yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, because she can like
So
bend the
that- I
fabric
throw
of
her up there,
time.
too.
But yeah, in terms of like straight up like fisticuffs fighting powers, like I mean, Captain Marvel could have kicked Thanos' ass until he had basically the entire Infinity Gauntlet at his disposal. So yeah, definitely super strong. So that was cool, and I appreciated that as well.
So they're punching each other thousands of miles apart, and Jane figures out through all sorts of stuff that they could just call Thor's mom Frigga on them. And yeah, we call Frigga just before Captain Marvel kills Thor with a punch as strong as 10 atomic bombs.
Comic bombs.
Plom lip blam.
Yeah, it's the apocalypse.
Butts? Like what? What are you saying?
Well, and it seemed like freaking it's like Maria Hill or whoever's the Shield lady, but I think they were ready to just blow them up completely with actual atomic bombs. It seems. Even she's like, "Oh, Captain Marvel will be fine." Like,
She'll be okay.
like, oh, okay,
It's
yeah,
just a backup, and I'm gonna hit the button.
yeah. 3, 2. It's like you're getting really fucking close to pressing that shit and starting like a nuclear war, presumably, or something. Christ.
So Thor gets his guests to clean up Earth and nearly tricks Frigga that he didn't throw a party on Midgard, except when he calls his hammer, it's got like underwear and graffiti on it.
That's what you do at a party. Yeah. Take off your underwear and spray paint.
I'm not seeing where it goes wrong yet, but continue.
Well, here's where it actually redeems itself.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is the best part of the episode is the end.
So the Watcher comes in and is like, oh, they lived happily ever after, they're in love, and oh fuck, is that Ultron with all of the Infinity Stones and Vision's body?
There's an oh shit moment, yeah.
So I think we got 2 episodes left. Have you guys noticed that originally there were going to be 10 episodes and now there's only 9?
They did, yeah. Well, and they also changed the order because when I looked up the show initially on IMDb, they were absolutely a different order than they've played out. The first 2, the T'Challa Star-Lord and the Captain Carter, like were unchanged, but they totally swapped the order of when these were supposed to come out. So yeah.
So the one I think we're missing is Tony Stark ends up on the planet that Thor ends up at in Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. And he fights Gamora in Thanos armor. Ooh. I think that's what we're missing. I'm not 100% sure because I drunkenly watched a YouTube theory about it, but I think that's the one. So I think we might actually get our Assemble episodes in a 2-part finale.
I think there's no question. Like, I think that's absolutely the implied, like, he's coming through a dimensional portal. Mm-hmm. Like, all of our all of our, not skepticism, but all of our speculating, rather, about, like, hey, will this be connected at the end? I think, 100% it absolutely is now. Like, I think that was basically hey, this is how we're drawing the line, like, your cliffhanger for next week kind of thing of, they're going to bring, like, it's going to be fucking Pepper Potts and Shuri from the Killmonger universe, and it's going to be, Doctor Strange's cape and Spider-Man from and the all zombie one, and yeah, 50 T'Challas, yeah. All of those, Captain Carter, like, all of those guys are going to be absolutely fighting Super Ultron Vision in the next, 2 episodes or whatever.
And they better hope that Captain Marvel and Thor join the fight, because that team is, to be honest, a ragtag bunch.
Yeah. Like we got Drax, Doctor Strange's cape, Spider-Man, and 3 T'Challas against 2.
And Paul Rudd's
Ultron
head.
with the Infinity Gauntlet. Fuck yeah, seriously, yeah, they're gonna get fucked up. So I hope that Captain Marvel steps in here.
So
Yeah,
I'm excited for
I
it
was
to come
definitely
together.
excited to see that. Yeah, agreed.
All right, final thoughts on What If, boys? Anything from you two?
Hey man, I just like where it's going. You know me, Thor on, go Frigga. I got.
Pour one out for Thor.
Love we got Jeff Goldblum to say "scoot scoots." I like to
You're
think
absolutely
I like to think that they hand Jeff Goldblum a script and he takes it and throws it over his shoulder.
And just says whatever he
And
wants.
they're like, oh, something about scooters. He's like, oh, and we're keeping the scoot scoots.
Yeah, life finds a way, and they're like, we're keeping it.
Scoot scoots find a way.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely have to say, like you said, this totally redeemed the episode for me, and I'm looking forward to them tying everything together because, especially if, holy shit, if they take the next 2 episodes to do it, not even just the last one, and actually like let there be a story and let the more interesting characters and storylines play out like that, because that's what I think we've wanted through this whole What If. It's kind of an extension of some of the cooler like characters and storylines, and that seems like that's genuinely what we're getting. So that's definitely cool. I was happy to see that.